5-1 Arizona, as we welcome you to Phillies Postgame Live, presented by our friends at Cure Auto Insurance, Ricky Pitalico, Ben Davis, and Ruben Amaro Jr. We'll go over to the park in a moment. I'm going to play this a little bit differently because certainly the home fans couldn't spur the team on. Not the Philadelphia Eagles showing up. They couldn't spur the team on. And certainly Aaron Nola did not get it done. 4 earned runs allowed. And anything other than what we expected from him happened tonight. But guess what? They're still in this series, and if they win it in 7 games, it doesn't matter. They still go to the World Series. So I'm just going to start with that. Did they have problems? Did they have miscues? Did they underperform? Was the crowd ticked? Yes, but as Torey Lovullo said before the game, I didn't come all this way to get my butt kicked. So he didn't, and they didn't. Tied up, and the first Game 7 in Phillies playoff history. Yeah. I'll be in the car.
Thank you, Michael.
See you later. See you later. Anyways, yeah, you're absolutely right. There's a Game 7. You know what? Things aren't over. Everything is in doom and gloom right now. So I'm not even playing that game. So you shouldn't at home, at least not yet. But I look at it this way. Aaron Nola came into this game, and quite frankly, we haven't seen him hang a breaking ball in about 3 weeks. Well, guess what? He hung one in the second inning, got hit out of the ballpark. He did not look right tonight. I thought he was down a couple clicks on his fastball. It didn't look like he had that type of life, kind of rolling some pitches. It was odd because I was watching that home run off of the curveball, and they showed the replay, and his hand was literally on the side of the baseball. He wasn't getting on top of the ball. You got to finish your pitches. And the other thing is, 4 1/3 inning, 82 pitches for Aaron Nola. That's not something you want to see. It's not something, especially in a game like this, you want him to go deep into a game. Him barely getting into the 5th inning was a flashback to August for me. I didn't like what I saw. I thought the bats were absolutely freezing. Not just cold, they were absolutely freezing. And you know what? I will send this one over to Arizona. They came ready to play tonight.
Yeah.
And Merrill Kelly, who I thought was going to get bombed. I literally did. I thought he was going to get hit all over the ballpark. And the one thing he did, he kind of lulled the Phillies hitters to sleep. He was not giving in to them. If he was going to give up a walk, then so be it. And that's the way he pitched. And his breaking stuff and off-speed stuff was good.
Ben, impressions of Game 6.
Well, Merrill Kelly was good. He could hit a Nats rear end from 60 feet 6 inches tonight. He was dotting it up. The Phillies, just 1 RBI by Brandon Marsh. He came to play tonight, but for the most part, the Phillies should feel fortunate it was only 5-1 because the D-backs were 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. They had plenty of opportunities to even increase that lead. Not available to do so were the D-backs, but the bottom line is the Phillies bats were silent. And again, Kelly was really good. But the approach is what I had an issue with tonight. It was just they were giving up on pitches away. They refused to use the opposite side of the diamond, other than Alec Boehm, who squeaked a few through the right side. But overall, just not their best performance offensively.
Yeah, I don't want to use Kelly as a crutch. It's like in hockey. We ran into a hot goaltender, but the guy was good. 1, he's got a full repertoire of pitches. 2, he placed them wherever the heck he wanted and left the Phillies hitters guessing.
That he did, and I thought that there was a real game plan here. He was not going to let Schwarber, and he was not going to let Harper beat him. And it was obvious to me that, especially in that first inning, that he got very careful with those 2 guys until they got a lead, and then he went after them. He was going to make either Turner and or Alec Boehm beat him, those right-handers, and they did a heck of a job. And now they ended up getting the lead, and then he got more aggressive with both those hitters and ended up doing a very good job with them. But you know, this team was built on offense, and they did not come to play offensively again. Aaron Nola kind of lulled kind of put the fans to sleep a little bit with those 2 home runs and that 3rd run after the double. But, they're going to have to bounce back, and they've been a really resilient team. They've been as resilient a team as we've seen in franchise history as far as I'm concerned. And you may very well see them come back and do a job tomorrow, but they're going to have to come to play because, hey, the Arizona Diamondbacks, they're a pretty good team. And they are here for a reason, and they weren't just going to roll over, and they did not. And now the Phillies are in for a real fight.
And some perspective, if the moment last year's World Series ended, you had said, you know what, the Phillies are going to have it down to one game for the right to get back here again next year, you would have said, where do I sign up? And they still have that possibility. The one game exists. So I think that's kind of
Wait a minute. There should not be a panic right now. They have a Game 7. They are the better team. They are at home. They have a lot of advantages of Game 7 right now. The one thing that I want to point out is that we gave their stars on this team a lot of credit out in Arizona for that game on Saturday night. They showed up. They hit the ball out of the ballpark. A lot of good things. Well, those stars, Schwarber, Turner, Harper, Real Muto, and Castellanos, went a combined 1 for 17 tonight. That is not getting the job done, and I would be willing to bet anything that doesn't happen in a Game 7.
Yeah, let's not lose sight of the fact that the Diamondbacks went into Milwaukee to start the playoffs, and they steamrolled Corbin Burnes and Freddie Peralta. They just went in there and annihilated the Brew Crew. Then they steamrolled the Los Angeles Dodgers. I know the Dodgers' pitching staff was depleted, but that's an awful good lineup that they have, and they went through them like a hot knife through butter. And now they're obviously competing here to win the pennant tomorrow night in Philadelphia. This is not a team that would go down. They believe in each other. They believe in themselves. And this is a team that obviously came here with a purpose, and they showed it tonight.
But he got his hands inside it, caught too much of the plate, and he got him for the second home run.
So Aaron Nola, 4 1/3 innings pitched, quite a difference from game number 2 of this series. 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, 2 home runs allowed. In fact, I thought it was a replay. We were watching it. No. Gurriel just hit that one out. It's back to back. And then 82 pitches, 3-0 with a .96 ERA in the first 3 starts. His ERA is now 2.35, which looks good until you consider the performance tonight.
And everybody out there is disappointed. All these Philly fans, we all know you're disappointed. You just got to wait another day. I mean, if they come out and play like this tomorrow, I'm going to be shocked. I'm going to be absolutely shocked. I like the fact that you have Ranger on the mound tomorrow because he doesn't care. He doesn't care about anything. He just goes out and pitches his game. He's not going to have any added pressure on him. I think that's a situation that we're looking at right now. You look at what Aaron Nola did tonight, it was bad. I mean, there's no other way to say it. He was not good. He wasn't sharp. He wasn't on top of his pitches. He was rolling his breaking balls at times. So how do you look at this? Well, you take it. It's a loss. You take it, and you get ready to play tomorrow. And I hope this team comes back ready to play tomorrow because I have a weird feeling that the Diamondbacks are not going to just give it away tomorrow.
No, this is going to go down to the wire as it goes down to the wire in game number 7. We'll see what happens. Here's Rob Thomson post-game about his team's performance.
Rob, how jarring was it to see Nola's stuff kind of fall down there in the second, and was there anything going on with him?
No, nothing physically. It was a little strange because first inning comes out and he really executed everything. And even in the fourth inning, I thought it was a good inning. The second inning, just the breaking ball to Pham, maybe a little bit of a hanger. The home run to Gurriel was they wanted to go up a little bit higher and he couldn't get it there. So didn't execute some pitches and he paid for it, but we didn't score any runs. So.
Here we go on left, Corey.
Rob, did you see some over-aggressiveness tonight from your lineup?
From the offensively?
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit, but he was getting ahead. A lot of first pitch strikes. He did get us to chase a little bit, so we just got to get back in the zone tomorrow and hit like we can.
You kept the same lineup structure all throughout the postseason, given like the dire circumstance of tomorrow night. Any consideration to making any changes?
0.
Okay, going to go straight down the middle.
Rob, is Zach Wheeler going to be available out of the bullpen tomorrow?
I would think so. I think it's going to be all hands on deck, everybody but Nola.
And then you were the bench coach for the Yankees when they were in a Game 7 in 2017. How do you kind of take that and impart it as you try to prepare for tomorrow?
I think you just got to come in here like it's any other day and be loose and relaxed and go play your game.
Going to go here in the second row, right?
Rob, I mean, with Rangers' disposition, I mean, do you feel like he's kind of the perfect guy for a Game 7?
Yeah, I don't think he'll be too nervous out there. He's a cool customer, and he'll go out there and he'll pitch his game.
Okay. And over there on the far left.
Rob, you want a low leverage spot for Kimbrel. You got what'd you see from him? B, does that change how you might use him going forward, or is that going to maybe you want to see him once more and something like that?
Yeah, I don't know how we're going to use him moving forward. I mean, it depends on the game state, but I thought he was better. He moved his hands down to his belt. I don't know whether you saw that or noticed that, but I thought he was better. I thought he had a little bit more rhythm, and he was powering the ball through the zones. Had a couple of yanks, but I thought he was better.
And then just with Rojas tonight, he had a ball hit well into the gap there in the 5th. Was there any consideration to pinch hitting from him in the 7th, guy on, nobody out, or?
No, not there, because they had man to ply up. So if I go to cave, they just bring the lefty in.
Okay. Anything else for Rob? Okay. Thanks, Rob.
Thank you.
Okay.
See you tomorrow.
Rob Thomson with a smile says, see you tomorrow. He's asked about many things, but certainly about Craig Kimbrel at the end. He said Kimbrel made an adjustment, but I think it's apt to point out that Kimbrel was derisively, sarcastically, seemingly to me, cheered by the fandom as kind
They're
of...
They're not happy with him.
They're not happy. Payback for games 3 and 4.
He didn't pitch well. So, you know what? This fan base doesn't really take that kindly. If you don't pitch well, they'll let you have it. Even now, even the softer fans, they still let him have it.
Yeah.
Even now.
Well,
Softer, kindly.
Well,
Yes.
you know what? If he pitches a little better, maybe this thing...
He didn't pitch well. What do you want to do? Okay.
Nothing.
So he goes out there.
Not to go out tomorrow. I know that.
Well, you think he's going to be in the game tomorrow? Go ahead. Put your hand
All
up if you
hands
think
on
he's in the
deck.
game
I
tomorrow.
hope not. Don't keep your hands down. Game 7, he also says, just go out there, treat it like it's any other game, come in, relaxed, go out and play your game. In your views, how difficult do you think that is? It's easy to say every other game.
I'm going to tell you
Can
right
do
now,
it?
for the Diamondbacks, it's simple because you're on the road. You're playing with, that is house money they're playing with right now. They have nothing to lose whatsoever. They're just going to go out and play like they did tonight. They were on the edge tonight. They were on the edge of elimination tonight. They staved it off. Can the Phillies pull that off? Yeah, I believe they can. But I think it's going to take. I said this the other night when those guys hit the baseball, when Schwarber hit the baseball, when Harper hit the ball out, Real Muto hit it out. That's what you need to see right now. The stars have to shine. If the stars are not shining tomorrow night again, I don't even want to say what could happen.
Mm-hmm. Benny,
how's that?
what do you think?
Well,
I agree with you.
You got to. Aaron Nola last week said, I'm going to treat tomorrow's ball game when he was making a previous start. He said, I'm going to treat tomorrow's ball game like it's just another game, and it is another game. But it does happen to be a Game 7. I think a sense of urgency will be a little bit more than what you saw this evening. It just seemed like the Phillies hitters were just kind of laid back and just thinking that it's just going to fall in our lap. It didn't happen tonight, and Merrill Kelly, he went out there and shoved. But I do think that tomorrow it is going to be an all hands on deck because it is Game 7. I know personally I'm not ready for this thing to be over. So I don't think the city's ready for this thing to be over. So I think it's for darn right that the Phillies aren't ready for the season to be over. So I expect them to come out on fire tomorrow night.
Ruben, in hockey and in basketball, in particular hockey, they say Game 7, anything can happen. Would you put it the same way in baseball terms?
I certainly would. Baseball is an amazingly fickle game. It depends on whether you make a break or you catch a break or whatever the case may be. It may take one play. It may take one miscue by one of the clubs or a great play by somebody. And, this is the situation they put themselves in. That said, you have to give the D-backs some credit. This is not just about the Phillies. There are two teams playing here. They're both trying to win. It's not just about the Phillies, and you do have to give the D-backs some credit because they played pretty good baseball, and they've pushed it to the limit.
Sometimes you get the impression in a series that the team that has been losing that comes back to tie it up to force that Game 7 is made its last stand. And then Game 7 is the team that has been favored, also known as the Phillies in this case. I'm not sensing that. As Lovello said, we're in it to win it. So the Phillies are going to have to bring their A game tomorrow. Here's Nick Castellanos post-game in the clubhouse.
He didn't really miss very many spots to me, and the pitches that he did throw over the plate had pretty good movement.
You said before you thrive after getting punched in the face. Is
Sure.
that the mantra tomorrow?
Of course.
What's the mentality here you were told at the beginning of the year you'd have a Game 7 at home, Ranger Suarez on the mound to go to the World Series?
I like our chances. I think we all take that.
Did it feel tight after the first couple of innings when you didn't cash in?
I mean, we have to give credit to them. They pitched a good game. They were on the edges, outside, inside, and bottom of the zone all day.
How do you handle the pressure or emotion going in tomorrow so you don't get too tight or try to do too much?
I think you do the best you can on to take all of that nervousness or anxiousness that you might feel and turn it into excitement, because we do win tomorrow and we go to the World Series. We're a better team in the World Series having gone through this adversity. Let's say if we would have swept in 4 games and we have a lull period and we're waiting to see who we play.
How challenging is it to control those, maybe the anxiety or nervousness that you might have naturally? Is that a tough thing to do?
I can't speak for everybody. I think that I'm getting better at it personally as, the more that I'm in this game.
Nick, how did you see Kelly approach you differently as a team today than he did in Game 2?
Honestly, he pitched well in Game 2 too. I think he gave up 3 hits. They just all happened to be over the fence. So hats off to him. He competed and did his job.
How does Rangers' calmness permeate everybody when a big situation happens?
It's definitely contagious. So I think that he's right man, right spot, and I know that we're all excited for him to take the mound tomorrow.
As difficult as today's loss is, tomorrow you play the first ever Phillies Game 7. History of the franchise, any round, first ever Game 7. As someone who loves the history of the game, how does that sound to you?
Sounds like a lot of fun. What a great opportunity.
Nick, you had such a big series against Atlanta. What do you need to do to get back to that?
Just continue to take good swings, From the first game that we were in AZ, I feel like I would get my A swing off and I'm just fouling pitches straight back over and over again. And then also sinkers down and in, taking good swings and hitting it off my foot or fouling it off. It's a game of inches or whatever's smaller than inches.
I think it's a micrometer or smaller than inches or maybe a quark.
He's right about that, though.
He is right about that. Nick Castellanos saying, hey, we're going to go in and give it the best shot that we have. Ranger's the guy for the job. His chill is infectious. That's what we need. I point something else out, though. We talked about the Atlanta Braves and their inactivity because they did not have a first-round opponent. They started in the second round and that they needed to play some games, and maybe they started a little bit cold and never were able to catch up. Had the Phillies taken care of this thing in 4 or even 5, they would have waited a long time to play. Am I reaching?
You are.
Okay, hang on, Ben. Am I reaching?
A little bit.
I'm just saying this could be a good experience if they win tomorrow.
Yeah, great experience if they win. But I mean, now we got to go through 3.5 hours of hell that could go teeter-totter for a long period of time.
Yeah, it'll only be hell if they lose tomorrow. It'll be heaven if they win and on to the World Series. And I'm trying to keep it positive, although we do have to analyze this thing and what went wrong. And some of what went wrong is Bryce Harper did not get a hit tonight, along with the other teammates in the lineup, numbers 1 and 2. Here's Bryce Harper postgame in the clubhouse.
First off, the job that their pitching staff just issue, because that's just Kelly, but the rest of that staff today.
Yeah, I thought Merrill threw the ball well. He threw the ball well last game also, and we just weren't able to really get anything going, and had a couple guys on there early, and weren't able to capitalize.
Tomorrow, of course, this franchise will be playing its first. This franchise will be playing its first ever 7th game, and just talk about the excitement of having that winner take all at home, especially.
Yeah, just glad we're at home and being able to play in front of our home crowd, and only one game matters right now, and that's tomorrow.
When you have Ranger Suarez on the mound, his calmness, how does that permeate with the rest of the team?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anytime you got Ranger on the bump, we got a really good chance to win. He's got a really good mindset out there, and we know that he can go as long as he can, and he's going to get the job done for us.
What do you guys pinpoint is the reason just you couldn't get the bats going tonight?
Just couldn't do it.
Is it? Did you sense anything different in the crowd, or do you think maybe just getting down early just kind of took the air out of the building a little bit?
No, I mean even when they got up 2-0 or 3-0, that was. the crowd, even they were on their feet, that whole time. So, no, I thought it was great.
Bryce, you guys have not faced a lot of elimination games. How do you make sure, as a leader, that this team is not tight, that you relax and play your game tomorrow?
Yeah, we're at home. I mean, it's a great place to be. I mean, of course, we wanted to get the job done tonight. Weren't able to do that, but all about, tomorrow's all about going 1-0.
You've been in some game 5s with the Nationals and played pretty well. I'm wondering what you remember about how you felt coming into that game and how that experience you can maybe draw upon.
Yeah, I felt fine. Being able to have the guys in front of me, the veteran leadership that we did have, just went out there and played my game. Didn't really worry about anything else, or you can't control, anything else. You got to control what you can on the field, and like I said, that game means everything tomorrow, and just got to go 1-0.
How much can seeing fought in Arizona help with tomorrow?
I'm sorry?
How much can seeing fought already in Arizona help with facing him again tomorrow?
Hold on.
Brandon Pfaadt.
Did you say? I can't understand what you're saying.
How much can you guys facing him already?
Oh, okay.
Help with facing him tomorrow?
Yeah. I mean, I thought he threw a really good game the other day. Just got to get him on the plate and do our damage when we can.
Schwarber, nothing doing. Same with Turner and Harper. Schwarber was on base twice with the walks. Harper had a walk. Boom. Interestingly, I don't know if you call this, go so far as to say a silver lining, but he's really been struggling. He gets 2 hits in the 4th spot tonight.
Crushed the ball tonight.
Stott gets a hit. Likewise, Real Muto with a run scored. And Castellanos, nothing. Brandon Marsh, 2 for 4. So when you look at that, who needs to?
And that's why the bottom of the lineup, it's so imperative that these guys get on base, because if there's a base open, Kyle Schwarber's not going to get anything to hit. That's the bottom line. But if you have first base occupied or first and second base occupied, you have to pitch to Kyle Schwarber. But obviously right now, Brandon Marsh having a couple knocks tonight, I think is definitely going to help. Rojas, I'd like to see him just tone that swing down. He's really over swinging right now, and his bat's kind of dragging. But if they can get these guys on base, they have to pitch to Kyle Schwarber.
I got to ask you guys something about Alec Bohm. Now, he's getting a lot of first pitch fastballs, and what he's doing is fouling the ball off down the right field line. Your thoughts on possibly a tired swing? What's going on?
I think he might be overswinging or overthinking just a little bit, and rather than just allowing his natural ability, because he's one of the better pure hitters on this ball club, and he just needs to let his natural ability take over. Hey, listen, he's still a young player. There's a lot of heat on him because they're going to pitch around Harper. They're not going to give him strikes unless there are guys on base, and they must. And so that's why Ben's point makes a lot of sense. But I do believe that if they're going to let anybody beat them, it's going to be Turner, it's going to be Stott, it's going to be Bohm. They're not going to allow those other guys to beat them, especially in a Game 7.
All right, let's go to the clubhouse. Here is tonight's starter for the Phillies, Aaron Nola.
Second inning, just talk about pinpoint maybe 1 or 2 things that may have not gone your way in that particular inning.
Yeah, curveball right over the middle to Pham, put a good swing on it. And then just not a great pitch to Gurriel right there, to seam in, down and in, kind of right in his bat path. Got me right there, and then the walk to Thomas scored. So, and ball right over the middle of the plate to Longoria, scored him right there. So just bad inning right there, and they didn't miss too many balls over the plate. Threw too many balls over the plate tonight, and they didn't miss them.
It seemed like it kind of bounced back a little bit, and it seemed like you were kind of been able to maybe turn things around. Was that your hope to kind of maybe settle down and go as long as you could?
Yeah, man, for sure. I felt good after that, right? Felt good body-wise for ball game. Really wanted to try to get ahead of the guys right after that inning right there, because I felt like I was falling behind and getting in back counts. Felt like I got ahead for the most part right after that, and Carroll put a really good at bat on me. And that inning got taken out, and then Marte didn't get the ball in enough.
And disappointment, I guess, this team is feeling for not being able to kind of clinch it. Just how tough it's right now, and your thoughts about, as far as from a team standpoint, going into Game 7.
Yeah, I got one more game in this series, man. Win or go home, so do whatever we can to win a baseball game.
What's made Marte such a tough out this whole series?
He's quick, got lightning fast hands. You really got to make your pitch against him, and you got to change speeds on him. So he's swinging the bat really well right now.
How much confidence do you have in Ranger in a Game 7 here at home?
A lot of confidence. Nothing's too big for him. He's got a really slow heartbeat, and everybody in this clubhouse organization has got confidence in him to go out and compete. And it's what he does all the time, and he's going to give us everything he's got.
First ever franchise history Game 7, and just being able to have a game like this one and roll the marbles and being able to have it at home. Just how much confidence does this team have? And get into tomorrow.
Yeah, it's really nice to have it at home for one, and Game 7. It's it's obviously a big one, right? And like I said, it's win or go home. So we put this one behind us, and we do what we can to win a baseball game tomorrow.
Aaron, you talk about controlling the controllables. Now that Game 7's coming up, you're not pitching that. How tough is that? How hard is it to stick to this control right now?
Yeah, I mean, obviously tonight wasn't a great night for me. Tough loss, and I go cheer my team on tomorrow and do whatever we can to win. I mean, that's what it comes down to, and you throw everything out the window prior to tomorrow, and do whatever we can tomorrow.
You talked about a little bit coming off the field after these last few starts. Is there any thought tonight?
Yeah, I haven't really thought about that yet. Kind of too caught up in the moment right now, and for tomorrow. Tomorrow's obviously big, and kind of worried about that.
Aaron, were you able to notice late fans seem to be giving you like an ovation? When you got into trouble in the second inning, trying to get you to rally and everything. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, that was awesome. They were definitely picking me up right there. I fell behind a couple hitters. I threw out to Thomas right after those homers, and I was trying to get back in the zone, man. And that's kind of what I was focused on. But yeah, I heard it. That was great.
And then also when you came out in the fifth, did you notice it too?
I did, yeah. I did.
How did that make you feel that they gave you applause and cheers with you walking off the mound in the fifth inning? You obviously want to go longer, but how did that feel in that moment, given the outing that you had tonight?
It felt good. Always feels good when they give you an ovation like that. Obviously, not a great night for me, and a tough one, pitching wise, but it was great.
Similarly, did you notice at all when you first came out to warm up that you got a cheer from the crowd at 4:30 in the afternoon on Monday?
Yeah, the past few times it's been like that. It's pretty awesome, and it doesn't ever get old. That's what I tell our bullpen catcher, Flanders. He says it too. He said it doesn't ever get old.
Thank you.